You know what?
I hear it's the best cut of steak if you can fellatio it.
I'm leaving. I can't handle him anymore. He was gone for a week, and now he's back. He's all peppy.
Yeah, he got like a full night's rest. Fuck you.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
All right, guys. I have a name for my Hootie and the Blowfish cover band.
Oh, yeah? What's it going to be called?
It's going to be called Cootie and the Suckbirds.
My God.
I can't wait for us to get cameras.
The Suckbirds.
I want to be with you.
Spencer looked at me like he needed confirmation that it was okay to laugh.
Well, at
you
first-
looked offended and then you broke.
Well, no, at first I was totally like, what's a suckbird? And then
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't, and then I realized it doesn't matter. It's just funny.
Shit.
It's just funny.
What's a blowfish?
That's a real thing.
I know.
What's a hootie? Hey.
A hootie is when you get a blowfish.
Cootie.
Hunter, no. How could you?
Ladies and gentlemen, Cootie and the Suckbirds.
I think Hunter made a blowjob joke. He made a fellatio reference.
Did he?
What is fellatio? Is that how you like your meat?
I actually believe that you don't know what that is.
I do. Do you like your meat fellatioed?
I'm not answering.
Is that how you take it?
I'm not going to answer you.
Or do you give fellatioed meat?
You know what?
I hear it's the best cut of steak if you can fellatio it.
I'm leaving. I can't handle him anymore. He was gone for a week, and now he's back. He's all peppy.
Yeah. He got like a full night's rest. Fuck you.
Welcome to the Beacon House, guys. This is our first episode of December, coming at you beginning of December here. 2019, almost over.
Christmas time, baby.
Yeah, a lot of transitioning. Yeah, we're in the Christmas season. If you guys put your Christmas shit up yet?
Fuck no.
I haven't either.
No. We haven't taken down Halloween yet. We just incorporated Thanksgiving into it.
I love that. I love that about it.
Dude, Libby goes, pumpkins are Thanksgiving too. You're not wrong.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I think Halloween transitions pretty nicely into Thanksgiving. Kind of, I don't know. It's hard to tell the difference at a glance. Like if you're at the store and you see like those corn husks and they're right next to a bunch of orange crap, you're sort of like, yeah, it blends. But Christmas is just like, everything fucking changes, you know?
Yeah, green and red. Everyone like kicks orange out, even if you're a Vols fan. They're like, fuck orange.
I will say this. I love coming in and there's like coming home from work or whatever and the Christmas tree is up, you know, and you flick the switch and it lights up and stuff. I love being in the living room with the Christmas tree. And
getting a fellatioed steak.
You know what?
Stop it. Anyways, real quick, I got a question for you when it comes to Christmas tree and Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Multicolored or white?
Multicolored.
I prefer
Thank
white.
you. No, that's what Christmas is all about, is that multicolored light.
Well, I'm talking like just for I have a fake tree. I never get a real tree. I always have this, I use fake tree over and over again. It's a cheap fucking tree, you know.
It's wonderful.
And I like to, my only thing, I use multicolored lights and I try to kind of bury them way down in the tree so they sort of just glow from inside of it.
Ooh, I like that.
I push them down in the branches, I guess. So it's got this real ambience, you know. But I've seen people do solid color lights. Like they do a tree that has like a theme. Like if you go to like Fantasy of Trees or something like that, dude,
that's where my wife is.
It's so impressive. Like a all white tree with maybe just like gold only. And, you know, I mean, I just don't have the skill to make a tree like that. But I appreciate people that have like a real themed tree or even the real natural trees that don't have lights at all. They just have like ornaments and they like look real old fashioned.
I like all of them. My preference is the white light and then like let the ornaments be the really bonkers weird stuff.
I get it.
I honestly don't want to bother with a tree ever, so I just put Christmas lights on a wall and thumbtack them into like this weird zigzag that makes it look like a tree on the wall.
That's so good.
I just take one string of multicolored lights and just go zig, zag, zig, and then it just and I make it into like a pyramid shape.
Yeah.
And so it just looks like a tree plugged into the wall.
When you're done, can you send a picture to Ferg? And Ferg, God bless you, our friend. Can you make that the Beacon House logo for December?
Casey's wall tree.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got a kind of like a lazy ass tree that I can put in my bedroom and it's shorter. It's probably about 2.5 feet tall or something, you know.
It's still a big ass.
Well, it's got lights in it.
Shut up.
I mean,
God, I love you.
But sometimes if I don't feel like fucking with the whole tree, I'll just put that one in so the bedroom feels Christmassy, you know, and you don't have to fuck with like decorating it or anything. It comes decorated.
Actually, as a kid, me and my brother both had like little tiny trees that we put in our room and had our own ornaments for those trees. And we just like, I think they're already pre-lit.
Yeah.
Are you still just making shitty jokes over there?
Yeah, as he said, comes decorated.
Hunter is a child.
Hunter,
have you seen my Godzilla collection? You guys know.
Hunter hears comes decorated, and he just thinks about all the time he gets to jerk off on the Christmas tree.
I have a question for you. So I was at the bookstore the other day, and I saw so many Godzillas. They have so many, and I thought to myself, you probably already have all of these.
Which bookstore?
The Books A Million bookstore. There's a huge Godzilla section.
Thanks. I don't actually. I have none of them.
They have like the really crazy looking one that was in the new movie with like the blue
yeah,
plasma
then they have
stuff.
The standard, and then they have the Rodan Mothra and the King Kong versus Godzilla.
They also have like the really weird looking one, like the toy itself looks like a weird rubber suit. Like they had a bunch. I was like, I'm pretty sure Hunter has.
I actually own none of those because budgeting, and I kind of decided I didn't want to fucking get the new one because I already have the 2014 one.
Oh, I see.
And they're pretty similar, but it is me. Like at some point, one day
we all have to make sacrifices.
Yeah, I can only have one type of Godzilla.
Okay,
but I actually own none of them.
Holy shit! So
how shocking,
dude! I want to talk about some. We were talking about this right before we started recording. But there's some. Okay, for starters, football's over.
Thank God.
Thank God. I know. It's
we had the championships next week, and then we had the playoffs, and then
there's there's going to be bowl games and there's going to be playoffs and stuff. But like the local football season has officially ended, and there were some very funny, exciting things that happened in football this week, which I don't usually keep up with. But people, past guests, Eric Stam and James Cooper, shout out, Eric. They have explained to me, and the one I want to talk about, and you saw a video of it earlier, it's called the Piss and Miss. And it was, who did we decide it was? Ole Miss and Mississippi State?
It was Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Ole Miss scored a touchdown to tie the game up before the PAT, but the player did a dog-like, hiked leg pissing stance in the end zone. And got a flag.
As if he was pissing on their logo that he just scored on. And he got a penalty for it. And they were literally 1 point away from tying, and it was the end of the game, like final seconds. And they moved the kick 15 yards. Was it 15 yards back?
Yeah.
Which made it really hard, and the kicker couldn't hit the extra point, all because this guy pretended to take a whiz.
Actually, that's not a hard kick for most kickers.
Is it really?
But here's the thing. I still don't like that they're ragging on the kicker, though. That should have happened because of what his teamate did. I'd like to think the kicker missed on purpose.
Oh, dude. And they're calling it the piss and miss. I think that's hilarious. When somebody, like, you see these videos of people that start celebrating before they get to the finish line, then they trip, and another guy wins, that kind of thing. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love that when grandstanding goes wrong. It's incredible.
I will say, with yesterday's football games, the Iron Bowl was probably the greatest football game I've seen in the last 5 years. The Alabama and Auburn game. It was a high-scoring bloodbath of a game where it was just like, people were constantly getting injured. They were making like insane catches with one hand with a toe in the in bounds and shit. It was insane. And then Nick Saban also lost, which just made it even better.
Oh, some of the memes, and again,
Nick Saban.
We apologize to any of our fans that are Alabama fan. I know Ferg is a Bama fan, and that had been hard for him to watch. But it really did send a shockwave through like the football community.
Too many players on the field.
Jesus. So there was that. And let me think, what else has been going on? I feel like I had so much stuff to talk about, but then I forgot when I get here.
Well, if you remember, let us know. But it's the beginning of the month, and it's been about 2 months since we talked anything about TV shows or movies that we've been watching in depth. And you just saw a movie recently, last night even.
I went back and I didn't even realize it was on Hulu. I saw Overlord. And it was
so good.
I mean, I feel like I've seen a bunch of Nazi movies recently. I finally got to watch Rachel Reitz, shout out, our past guest and friend, loaned me a movie called Swing Kids. And I believe it's from like the 90s.
Yeah, it's Christian Bale in it. And,
Christian Bale and the other guy. I forget.
There's a lot of people. But yeah, it's a World War II movie. It's really good.
It's super good. And it's also about like the Nazi occupation of like Germany at the time and citizens that are kind of like getting forced into the Nazi, like they get in trouble. These kids get in trouble and they have to join the army, or there's no telling they're going to be sent to a work camp or something. So really interesting too. Overlord obviously was like a way more exaggerated version of that. But I feel like I've been seeing a lot of Nazi stuff lately.
I actually watched a Nazi documentary with my mom.
Did you?
No joke. It was the accountant of Auschwitz or something that it was exploring the idea of whether or not it's just to find these people in their mid-90s and still sentence them to prison and all that. And then it showed what they did and the different people they found. It was pretty interesting on Netflix, I think.
Man, I'll tell you what, that just the idea that happened. I mean, I wasn't alive when it happened. None of us were, but like that shit happened not that far before we were born. Like, it's not that far removed. Like, now in 2019, it seems like it, but man, like back in the 90s, that was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, our parents,
50 years ago.
Our parents came about at the end of that, mostly.
Yeah, my parents were alive before that. But I mean, you want to talk about, like, that's not something that happened 200 or 300 years ago.
Yeah.
That was literally like less than a century ago that a group of people decided that it was okay to just kill this other group of people and like take over the world and craziness. And I mean, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And now ask kids like in middle school about what World War II is, and they don't know much about it anymore.
Really?
It's going to become something that just becomes like, it's in the history books only. Like, I remember when I was in middle school and high school, we had somebody who was a Holocaust survivor come and actually talk to us about what happened to them and to their family. And it was gut wrenching. Like, it broke my heart.
Yeah. Well,
and now those people are passing away, and there's a new generation of kids who just have no idea unless they read about it.
My side of our generation is where they started to not care. I had a Holocaust survivor come and talk to me my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And it was atrocious how much whispering and giggling was going on in there amongst just all of the children. And
yeah,
that shit happened.
I think the thing that really dawned on me is when I watched Band of Brothers, and there's that whole episode that's about them finding a concentration camp, and even the American soldiers didn't know that was a thing until they found it. And the person I was watching it with was slightly younger than me, not by too much, but they looked at me and they're like, oh, that's pretty sad. That's kind of over dramatized, wasn't it? I was like, no, that was under dramatized because of like, they can't show everything that happened in a concentration camp because they probably couldn't put that on TV.
Yeah.
And they were like, really? That seemed like a little over the top. And I was like, no, that was,
buddy.
And I was just like, that's nowhere near how bad it actually was. Like, you need to go do some research on it.
Dude, in the accountant of Auschwitz, when the guy was being prosecuted at like 94 or whatever, specifically to the point you're saying, he told a story, recounted a story just where a mom tried to smuggle her infant baby in through a suitcase so that they wouldn't be separated, and the suitcase started crying. So whatever guard, it was just a low-level guard, was there, pulled a gun on her, opened the case and took the baby out, and then flung the baby by the legs into a train car over and over until it was mush.
Jesus.
No shit.
Yeah, and it's just to think that's not a movie. Like,
no, that happened.
Human beings really did this type of stuff. I don't know, man. Like me, it's maybe with that knowledge that I have this level of skepticism every time I encounter a group of people that are just acting like holier than thou, and that or that they're so better. You know, I see a lot of like virtue signaling and stuff. Yeah. And I just want to go. You know, we're that same creature. Like, don't act like. I think it bothers me when people act flawless.
Yeah. Or
that they have this incredible moral platitude. Like something about them is different than anybody that's doing something wrong. I think it's important to consider, like, you're that same creature, and you got to constantly keep yourself in check if you don't want to be like a fucking monster. I think, you know, like, not that everybody is, but still, like, a lot of those people, and you see it in that movie, The Swing Kids. Like, some of those people started out like decent kids, and then somehow they get involved, and like at the very first ranks that they go, it's like they're not even in an army. They're just like in this club, and they get treated real well. Some of them for the first time in their life. And like, some of the Nazis are like real charming, and they kind of go, wait a minute, these people aren't that bad. And like, and it's the brainwashing.
Yeah. They just inch you forward until you are the thing, and you don't know that you were there anymore. And
so you, like, somebody agrees with you, and it's that whole kind of thing. And what's weird is you see that and you go, wait a minute, that's how the media does with us still sometimes. Like the manipulation of like information and stuff. Like, I don't know. I just think it's scary that you know, it's so people are so afraid these days of being disagreed with.
Yeah.
That when you find somebody that thinks the same as you, or you hear something that you go, yeah, I think that too. I don't know, man. Like it kind of erases your critical thinking in a way. And I could see that happening back then too. Like the first time somebody found protect, just like gangs, like gang warfare and that kind of thing, like the rise of gangs in LA in the 90s and stuff. People joined gangs to belong to something. You know, like it never looked good crime never looked good on the outset. They just, you know what I mean? It just depending on your environment, it's easy to get involved in things that you shouldn't get involved in just because there's protection there. And you know what I'm saying? So, it's such a crazy thing. Like, it seems like it's so easy to be led astray, I think.
Well, that's what seems to be going on now in today's political climate with the far left and the far right. Both are just
totally warring.
And what's so hilarious is you have both sides trying to make their points, and they're doing it in such a ass backwards way.
Yeah.
Where it's like the far left thinks protesting in the streets and like throwing trash cans through Starbucks windows gets their point across, when really all it does is show people like us in the middle just being like, yeah, I don't really want to take your side either. Like, I don't like the right at all, but I also don't like what you're doing to a start like this. The workers inside that building have zero to do with what you're protesting. And so smashing their business and making their lives worse doesn't help.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. And that's why I enjoy being like, people are just like, oh, you got to make up your mind. You can't just be in the middle. I actually enjoy being in the middle because I feel like I can see both sides.
There was a phenomenal podcast recently, and it was Tulsi on Joe Rogan.
Joe Willink.
Or Joe Willink. Jocko Willink.
Jocko, sorry. Yeah.
And man, holy crap. You want to talk about three level-headed people talking adult things about the state of the world today. Jesus Christ. I posted it on Facebook with the caption, 100% more legit than the debates.
Yeah.
And it was.
And I love what they said about that, too. It had never occurred to me. I didn't like the format of the debates, but it just never occurred to me what they did was the way to do it.
Arguably the smartest guy running for president is Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask him anything until 30 minutes into the debate, and then they asked him, what would you do if you got a call from Putin? And, you know, like, I'm pretty sure they said Yang was just like, are you serious? Really? That 30 minutes, I don't even act like I'm on the stage, and in 30 minutes I get a question like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, how stupid.
But they're right, though. They want sound bites so that they can demonize you if you're not the guy that their corporation supports, and that's it.
Yeah.
But to the point, I think it was Jocko, actually, but whichever the three of them pointed it out, it doesn't have to be Rogan, obviously, but there's no reason for this anymore. All of that structuring that gives you no information that's useful for the people you're voting for is founded on finding a way to elevate whoever they chose and then let the network bring in all kinds of ad money. Like, get on a podcast and do it that way, because then people can see you talk.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with it, man. I'm totally.
I still really feel like Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard would make a great team.
Holy shit!
Yeah, dude. If she could get the top billing and he go in
Vice
VP,
I feel like him top billing and her as VP would be just as fine too.
I mean, I would be satisfied with it either way. I think she has more leadership qualities than him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
I could see her actually giving the State of the Union.
She can Dick Cheney his George Bush. That's fine.
I mean, she's got this very like, she's. I consider her to be like a real hero. This doesn't have to influence anybody listening to this. Vote for whoever you want, but man,
I tell you right now, Bernie Sanders isn't going to do it to beat Trump.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He's hurt. Did you notice that did you see the picture they put up of the last debate? Sanders, Yang, and Gabbard were all in front of a red background, and everybody else was blue. Just the way that they staged them on the stage. If you look at pictures, they're all in front of this red background. It's giving you these subliminal hints. They're trying to demonize them.
Yeah, but red is also a more powerful color, so they could.
I mean, either way, but
subconsciously.
I think the DNC wants Biden real bad.
I think they do too.
But you saw what they did to Bernie. I mean, it's totally corrupt on that side, and that's why they don't like her. That's why they don't like Yang, because they're not on the team. You know, they're not on the corruption team. Either way, I told somebody I think she's more qualified to be president than anybody in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. Any president or anybody that's run for president in my life, I think she's more qualified to be president than anybody I've ever seen in my entire years on this earth. But whatever. And Andrew Yang is one of the smartest people I've ever listened to. He actually has real numbers. Like, he was on I saw a thing where he was on a show with Ben Shapiro, and they were having a real friendly conversation about platforms. And he goes, man, you are such a platform guy. Like, you've got all these things. You're not just up there just running your mouth. Yang is so fucking smart and very entertaining and very likable.
Yeah. And
I like the guy a lot. But, and again, I don't care what anybody does, but if you haven't at least looked into them, you should check out Gabbard and Yang. They're pretty rad.
I'm with you, Casey, though. I want Gabbard over Yang just because I prefer her ultimately, but I'm happy with either one. So I think either way, if they could be a 1-2 punch, that'd be great for everybody.
Yeah. I just think like right now everyone's talking about Bernie Sanders, but
They need to not. You're right.
The problem is once they get into the debates with Trump versus whoever they get for the DNC, the person who's for the Democratic Party has got to be able to talk shit just as well as Trump does.
Yeah,
because he doesn't get offended.
But
he has no filter and he doesn't care what people say about him. So you have to say something that he cares about. You got to find that.
But if you can,
golden ticket to piss him off on stage and for him to show his true colors.
Someone that can do that, but without losing their shit the way that he does, where he gets all wild too at the same time.
Yeah.
And is the biggest thing to what you were saying about whoever they get on the left to represent, they need someone that can easily, without obviously looking like they're gritting their teeth doing so, answer stuff in the middle, because that's the only way.
Well, and they pointed out on the Rogan podcast that that they've already stated, like people that I don't know, analysts and stuff, they go, the only person that's going to be able to beat Trump is somebody that can actually take votes away from Trump, not just somebody that can get all the votes on the left. They're actually going to have to get some of his supporters too.
How about an actual veteran? Look
at that. Well, and they've already pointed out that a bunch of the people that voted for Trump that are not Republicans, a bunch of people who voted for Trump that were just kind of sick of the machine, and they voted for him almost as a protest. Those people would vote for Gabbard. And so she checks all the boxes. The problem is she won't play with the deep state. Yeah. She doesn't play on the team of like that fucking corrupt DNC thing, that the people that threw Bernie under the bus. She doesn't play on the team, and so that's why they're trying to demonize her. But I think it's great. I think it's great that she's like fucking...
It's working against them because now people are talking about her more than ever.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I like Yang a lot too. Like he's really... And here's the again, I don't want to hijack this episode talking about politics, because fuck that. We've had enough of that. But the one thing I will say I like about her and Yang is both of them have a solution to getting the money to fix healthcare, to fix the country, to fix all this stuff. They have a solution that's not demonize the rich.
Yeah.
Like it's automatically a billionaire's fault. And that's where we need to get the money from. Like I understand how taxes work, but I also understand percentages. And I'm just here to tell you, like, Andrew Yang wants to do a value added tax on all this stuff, which would give people like Jeff Bezos from Amazon, who doesn't pay any taxes, all of a sudden he would get to pay in, but it wouldn't be by taxing. Because guess what? And Yang pointed this out. If you try to tax the super wealthy, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Super wealthy don't pay taxes. Part of what they do is avoiding paying taxes. You can't get around it. They have loopholes. They have lawyers. It's just not going to happen. Bernie Sanders is not going to get money from these billionaires.
You know who's going to suffer?
The middle class.
The middle class, which apparently doesn't exist anymore, but now it'll definitely really fuck them over.
Well, and Yang explained this too. He goes, look, and him and Ben Shapiro actually laughed about, and I'm not saying Ben Shapiro's like you can love him or hate him, whatever.
Yeah, but the point is he's a far right guy. And
he definitely looks like Satan.
He couldn't be more opposite from Yang. But even they both have had law school, and they both laughed about. And Yang goes, you and I have both worked for companies where our job is to help people find loopholes to avoid. He goes, oh yeah, of course. You're not going to be able to put something in that taxes these people. It's just not going to work. But if you add a value-added tax up front to the purchases, then that boosts the local economy. It brings tons of money in, and it would pay for that, what he calls, basically everybody gets $1,000 a month. It would easily pay for that. So he's got a lot of math on his side that works. And Tulsi's whole thing is in these senseless wars. And I like that she finally pointed out, she goes, look, non-interventionist foreign policy is not the same as being an isolationist, because a lot of people I know, the minute you go, well, Tulsi doesn't want to start any more wars in Afghanistan.
That's the big thing that I was worried about.
She's an isolationist. Well, no, she just does. How about diplomacy and save all that money? So Yang and Gabbard both have this plan to get the money we need to fix healthcare, to fix all kinds of stuff, but not to just make it a law to take it from the wealthy who create jobs. They kind of create the economy. You don't want to, again, I'm sorry that so few people have so much, but they also provide a lot of opportunities. They create a lot of things. It trickles down, and we get that.
Yeah.
You just don't want to fucking go after those people. And also, I was telling my friend, I'm not telling her, I was telling Rachel, I go, here's the thing. Like, let's say Casey has all the money, and me and you, Hunter, we just have a little bit. Like, it would be great if Casey had so much that he could just go, well, here's some for you and here's some for you. But there's nothing, in my view, there's nothing we can do to make it a law that he has to give us some of his stuff.
That should never be a thing.
It shouldn't be a crime to just have things. And I just don't think that represents freedom. And I think when you just go, well, we got to go after the billionaires, I think there's more pragmatic ways to do that, and I think Andrew Yang is a good guy to explain.
I think it's funny that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders want to bring back the middle class just to fuck it over.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And didn't Mayor Pete get caught like faking black voters or something? There was something crazy he did.
Like that,
they were sending emails that automatically they counted all these people. They were all African Americans. They were counting them as his supporters.
You have to if
they didn't unsubscribe, and most people didn't even look at it. And finally, one guy goes, "I'm not a supporter of that guy, Pete Buttigieg. I didn't support him, but I'm on a list that says I'm one of his supporters." And he got totally fucking. Like, his campaign got in trouble. Come on, dude.
My big thing with what Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have been talking about with how everything's going to be free and with like all this stuff and the people are going to pay for it. It's all based on the honor system. And I don't think a lot of people who are going to be reaching out for those kind of programs are very honorable. I'm not saying all of them aren't very honorable, but I know a lot of people who would take advantage of it. Yeah. And just like they would take the free shit, and then they still wouldn't try to like better. Like the whole point of getting that free shit is so they can like find jobs and, become paying, and they can start paying the taxes that go into that. Yeah. And they could also start contributing. I think there's a good percentage of people that just wouldn't do that, and it would fuck it over, and it would just be like catastrophic.
Well, there's a couple things you see that are demonstrably true. And that's one is if there's no checks and balances, if you just expect everything to work on the honor system, society falls apart. And I hate to say that, but people can't just be trusted to just automatically do the right thing, especially depending on culture. Like if they're poor, if they're living paycheck to paycheck, if they don't know where the next meal is coming from, if they can't provide for their kids, people don't tend to always, go and donate a bunch of money to the church and go out and do charity work and not like that. You see that stuff in a robust functioning economy. But in like the real world, you don't see as much of that when people are like living paycheck to paycheck. Also, what we talk about like the gun issue and violence and all that, what we've only seen, nobody's got a clear answer to how to stop these mass shootings and stuff. But one thing we've seen is if you make it easier for predators, you get more predators.
Yeah.
Those are two things that demonstrably happen. So it would be nice to put everybody on the honor system, but I don't think it'll work. And I think history shows that it doesn't work.
People suck.
Yeah.
No matter what, even if you think someone is, even if you think like this most charitable, wonderful person is the most charitable, wonderful person you've ever met, somewhere down the line, that person sucks so bad. They're such a fucking horrible person.
I'll tell you, I got something to say to that. Like my friend, Alan Braden that I used to work with at Guitar Center, shout out Al. Al had so many wonderful little like quips about life, whatever. But I remember, I think I was having like girl problems or something, and I was like, man, like, and I think I made the erroneous statement. I thought she was so cool, and then she did some dirty shit or what, whatever. And he goes, I'll try to do an impression. Alan goes, just remember something. Any girl, no matter how cool you think she is, somewhere there's a dude that's sick of her shit.
That's great.
And I think that's not just for girl, that goes for anybody.
But that's like, a good
anybody that you think they just hung the moon, somewhere somebody's over their shit.
And it's usually their dads.
So if you get somebody up on a pedestal, think of the wise words of Alan Braden. Somebody's sick of their shit somewhere, like, oh man, they can't do any wrong. They can.
Yeah.
So just relax. Okay, I
feel like I made a little joke there and no one heard it, but Spencer's going to go back and listen to this and just die laughing at the computer.
About the dads?
Huh? What?
About their dads. I caught it.
Damn it. I've always wanted to say a joke that no one catches, and then later on Spencer texts me and is just like, I just listened to the episode. When the fuck did you say that?
I'll tell you right now, since Spencer has caught a few of mine over the 2 years we've been doing this, they're not great. The secret, bud, is to like wait for the two of us to get on a pedestal and just throw it in there. He'll catch it later.
It's you lead me right into the trap and then seal the cage.
Yeah.
I will say, okay, I'd like to change subject real quick here.
Merry Christmas.
Tulsi 2020. Go.
Fucking let's get off.
Calm down.
Have you guys? I know you guys have heard about it.
Baby Yoda? Fuck yeah.
Baby Yoda is incredible. Look, there's something almost as good as Baby Yoda exists in the world.
Listen, my cat?
Listen. I just want to see if you guys have tried it, because I tried it finally. Have you had the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
I almost went to Clinton Highway today and picked up 3 just so we could eat them here on the podcast.
Have you had it yet?
I've not had it yet.
Oh,
No.
let me tell you something.
I heard it's better than Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
I heard it's better than fellacioed steak.
Stop it. God damn you.
It's so good. It is so good. And I heard, now look, everybody make up your own mind, okay? Because I've heard mixed things. Our friend James Cooper went and goes, it's okay. The wife of a man who works on my car was eating one while I was getting my brakes fixed. And I said, hey,
Sounds like a weird start to a porno.
Is that Popeyes chicken sandwich? And she goes,
Give me that dick.
That's right.
And I said, is it all it's cracked up to be? Because like fights are breaking out all over the nation. People are running their cars into each other because somebody tried to cut in line at the drive-thru. There's a constant line around the building, like open to close. And it's this massive thing. And I was like, this has got to be hype. This has got to be social media hype.
What do you think they put in the chicken?
Dude, it's so good. I fucking went.
It has mushrooms on it, right?
No. I went and got one. It's so good.
How busy was the store when you got there?
Okay, I didn't go in. I went through the drive-thru, and it took a minute. I mean, there were probably like 8 or 9 cars in the drive-thru, and this was like in the afternoon. I tried to go at the slowest time of day. I was out running errands. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. I was like, this is easily between early dinner and lunch.
They ran out of chicken the first time they did this.
Yeah, you see these giant pods out behind Popeyes, like you would move in, and I know it's just full of chicken, like probably frozen.
Yeah.
Because they're selling so much, and they advertise on their sign, you can get this sandwich for $3.99. And I'm here to tell you, it's so big, it'll fill you up. You don't need fries with it. You don't need any crap on the side. It's phenomenal. And I don't know how to explain what makes it so good. It's just the chicken is huge and juicy. It's way bigger than the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, and it's got this buttermilk ranch on it and pickles. And the bun is super buttery, and it's been grilled, and it's just perfect.
It's just big and juicy.
Yeah, like you like it. Fucking
Buttermilk ranch. It's not buttermilk ranch. Go for it.
Oh, God damn it.
I know. You should not get one. It'll probably shut your fucking pancreas down. You tick turd.
Your blood would turn to acid again.
Oh,
Dude,
God,
I'm here to tell you,
that.
it's worth the drive. I mean, I already live like out that way, but it's worth driving out there to get one. And don't wait till you get home. Just eat it in the car.
Where I live, I was looking it up last night because I was going to go, if I got up early enough today, I was going to go get 3 of them and come here and just be like, all right, today we have a little something special. I was going to break them out for you guys and be like, let's eat Popeyes chicken sandwiches and talk about it. However, when I looked it up on Google, I live in the middle of the triangle of Popeyes chickens, and they're all 11 miles from my house in every direction.
Dude,
there's one in Maryville, there's one off Watt Road, and there's one in Clinton Highway.
Dude, I go buy the one on Clinton Highway to get here. I can bring them. If we talk about it, let's next week, let's talk about it, and let's have Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
All right, next week, 100%, I'll text you to remind you. Pick up 3. I don't even know if they'll let you buy 3.
Yeah, they will. You can trust me. Everybody in line was getting like a whole bag of them.
Oh God,
it's so good.
This sounds like when McDonald's brought back the chicken selects. They called them something different, like buttermilk chicken tenders or something.
Yeah,
but really, it was just
get
a
rid of
fucking
them,
chicken
too?
select. No, they didn't get rid of them. They ran out of chicken.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they brought them back like 2 months later when they could kill enough chickens to feed people.
Oh man.
And what's funny is like I drive down the road.
It.
Well, it's like I drive down the road every now and then going to work, and I'll see like one of those 18-wheelers is just stuffed with chickens, and you could tell they're all alive, like sticking their heads out, like, where am I going?
I can't.
And I'm like,
handle
that's sad. And then I think, but you're gonna turn into some tasty fucking fast food restaurant,
man.
meal.
I have. Oh man,
At least 5% of them.
I have the hardest time, like with that gap. But I mean, I'm such a big animal
reconciling that they have to die for your pleasure.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something
that's
about
the thing.
chickens.
I don't actually believe that. That's the problem I don't have. Like people go, well, you're such an animal lover. Why aren't you a vegetarian?
Just take one wing off and let the chicken live.
It's not even that. That's what they do to crabs. That's what they do to the stone crab.
Oh, don't tell me that. No, don't tell me that.
They're allowed to pop one claw off and it grows back. So every year they go down, they find them, they dive for them, and they'll find them, and they'll take one claw and they snap it off, and they let the crab go. It grows back, but it grows back bigger. So you'll eventually see one that's got a giant claw because it keeps growing back, and they pop those off. But they're not allowed to leave the crab defenseless. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, the claw fairy comes by and wishes them all a new claw every year.
Yeah, it's the stone
one
crab.
for you and one for you.
But here's the thing. I feel like meat is like an industry. And I don't feel like it disappears if I quit eating meat. And the meat that I eat has already been killed, and it's already on the grocery store shelf, and it's already at the cooler at Popeyes or whatever. And if it literally, I'm not going out and abusing animals to eat. And some people think that's better. Some people think it's better if you hunt everything you kill and you really use it to feed it. Like Ted Nugent has this big thing about, I kill all my own food and it's done in a humane way. Okay, I get it. But my whole point is like, I just go to the store and shop like everybody else. And I don't participate in cruelty to animals. And I don't particularly believe that my association or participation in eating meat would have any effect on the meat industry. That's just my personal opinion. If you're a vegetarian and you feel you sleep better at night because nothing that you ingest, or vegan would be somebody that you don't ingest any animal products, and so you have a clear conscience or whatever. Great. I just don't particularly share that view.
I honestly think when it comes to vegetarians and vegans who care about what I'm doing with my meals every day, fuck them. Mind your own goddamn business. Leave me alone.
Oh, thank
don't
God
talk to me.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I bet you don't guess what's in that McDonald's burger. I know it's fucking tasty. I don't give a shit.
You don't give a fuck.
And to be fair,
somebody at one point told me I was eating a McDonald's burger, and they're like, "Oh, I bet you can't guess what's in that burger." I was like, "That was probably ground beef." And they're like, "They also put worm meal in it." And I was like,
Tastes great.
"Okay." I was like, "Do you know that my meal shits on your meal on a daily basis?" And they're just like, well, I mean, they clean it. And I was like, I don't give a shit. Mind your own business. Leave me the fuck alone. Mm-hmm. I'm just eating a burger in peace.
And for the record, I've never had any vegans or vegetarians like demonize me because I was eating meat.
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah, it sucks.
I was just saying, like, I've had people,
it's rare, to be fair.
I have
to them,
had people pose a question, like, because I'm so crazy about animals. I take care of animals. I feed stray animals and stuff.
Well, you're not eating cats.
That I know of. But anyway.
That Chinese place down the road's really good.
See, I was waiting on somebody to go. there. Anyway, but yeah, but the Popeyes chicken sandwich is fantastic, and I still don't like seeing the chicken truck go down the interstate. It still makes me sad. But
you also got to know that the chickens are dumb as fuck, and they have no idea what's going on.
They
don't know what's going on.
I don't believe that an animal's right to live should be based on its intelligence. I think life
that's not what I'm saying.
Either matters or it doesn't.
Ultimately, life finds a way, though. So
shut up, God.
I love the pause from both of you. It hurts you.
Jim Gaffigan had a great thing about vegetarians where he's like, I just don't understand the brag from vegetarians. So like, I haven't had meat in 5 years. And he's like, I haven't had a fucking banana in a month. You don't see me bragging about it. Walking around being like, I haven't had a banana in a month. And I don't know. I enjoy when he does a whole bit on it. If I'm going to eat meat, I'm going to eat meat. And there's nothing a single person's going to say to me that would change my mind on that. Like, even if someone was like, I mean, that cow had a family. And I was like, yeah, well, not anymore. Now it's in my belly, and it's also serving my family food for the day. So
he's got a point.
Those trees have a family too.
I know. I sound heartless, but I just mind your own fucking business.
Well,
How about
we also
that?
need to like respect what we can and can't actually understand. To be fair, like the vegetable side of things, there is intelligence involved with how those things grow.
I will say,
just different.
Your wife Libby, vegetarian, doesn't bother. She doesn't care if I bring meat over to the house and eat it in front of her. She doesn't care at all. She understands that she made a choice and I made a choice, and that's fine.
And she's fine with it. Yeah.
And
hey,
I know it's crazy. And then whenever I do something like have people over and order a pizza, I make sure to order one with no meat and no cheese, just for her, because I know, hey, I know you don't like cheese and milk, and I know you don't like meat, so I got this pizza just for you and anybody that may perhaps share your thoughts.
Yeah.
Totally. And
it's insane. We all get along and party and have a great time. And
it's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't matter.
It's like somebody else's choices can't hurt you.
Weird.
Even though sometimes they can. But
hold on. Let me share that on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that person's choice to kill you can't hurt you if you can run fast enough. The choice itself can't inherently hurt you. It's the actions that follow.
That is true.
To be fair to what you're saying.
You make a strong point.
I don't have to run fast. I just have to run faster than you.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, not to be dark, but you are right in what you just said.
And you're a lot easier to put on the ground than I am.
Yeah. Just change out that salt shaker.
Yeah. No, just push you over.
I did get lifted by the wind when I was a teenager. So. Shit.
Lifted by the wind.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fucking Bette Midler song.
It's true. I was coming to Books A Million after Beard in High School. I was like a sophomore or something, and the wind got real heavy like it was today, and I was on that hill by Gold's Gym, and I got elevated and pushed like 2 inches, but I had a heart attack. Just, you know.
Just in case anybody want to know if Hunter really is light as paper.
I am.
You know, it'd been great if Hunter like got stuck in the wind and was like tossing around, and someone videotaped it like the trash bag, being like, "It's so beautiful." As he just goes like flipping around, he's like, "Call my mom." I dropped my pen.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
I only need that once a day.
My needles.
Shit.
God, man, imagine if Hunter was flying around in like a little cyclone, there'd be needles going everywhere. It'd be like Sharknado, but it'd be Sharpnado.
he'd be like a white trash version of Storm from the X-Men.
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by 10 different insulin needles? The same thing that happens to everything else.
The cops arrest it for heroin.
Yeah, shit.
Oh, man.
Dude, someone got pulled over in the Books A Million parking lot.
The one you work at?
No, not the one I work at. The other one.
Okay.
There's 3 in the region, bud.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shit, my bad.
But I got pulled over in the one that I don't work at. The
I
parking lot.
didn't know you'd be caught dead in Oak Ridge.
It was just funny because my manager, who happened to be at the one that I don't work at, walked up and he goes, "I told you to stop shooting up out there."
I told you to do it in the break room. Oh, fuck. Is that it?
That's a good note to end on.
I don't think we can come back from that Hunter tornado.
I want to go eat tacos.
Oh my God. Well, okay then. Well, so we move forward into the last month of 2019, and we are coming up on episode 100. It's going to be a couple more weeks, but we want you guys to please join us. Send us if you've got anything you want us to talk about as we close out this first 100 episodes of Beacon House, almost 2 years. Please send us an email. Send us some anything like social media. Just get at us, and we'll try to do something.
To be fair, we probably won't. I'm just kidding.
or maybe we won't. Whatever.
Honestly, before the end of the year, I do want to do a recap of 2019.
Of course, we'll do the best of.
Did we do that? Best of 2018.
Well, we still got a couple things. Hopefully, if they pan out, a couple things we might line up for Christmas. So we may have some guests and stuff. Just get with us on that. We got a new year coming up. We'll see what happens in 2020. Oh God, there's going to be an election. Jesus, I was trying to think about that anymore.
I usually don't eat anyways. So.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just gonna go jump in a white trash tornado.
The needles.
Oh no.